The heroes of the My Day in Kazakhstan program are foreign specialists, ambassadors and volunteers who link their fate, albeit not for long, with the country in the center of Eurasia. They talk with love about Kazakhstan, their activities, and most importantly, their life today. The camera will film the program heroes from early morning until late evening. We introduce viewers to those who help build a new economy and promote Kazakhstan's integration into the world community. People of Kazakhstan will see amazing places of the country they live in, which they know but sometimes do not notice its uniqueness.
Good morning, my name is Benoît, I'm a teacher from France, and today you're going to follow me in one of my usual days in Astana. Today is already a very cold day. The temperature is actually right now -2 degrees. So of course, as usual, we need a winter cap to go outside. Now we are going to have a little walk over there, and I'm going to introduce you to a very unknown part of Astana. So let's go now.
Benoît Berthe grew up in a little village on the Spanish border in southern France, surrounded by mountains. He has been in Astana for about 5 years and has managed to become a patriot of a fast-changing city. Something similar happens with our feelings toward children who are growing up before our eyes. They remain forever in our hearts, and everything in them, both the past and the present, is dear to us.
So I used to have a lot of walks there during lockdown, during the coronavirus in 2020. It really has a special feel. Feels like a small village inside the city center of a capital. Okay. So now we are going to see this former village called New Zarechny. It still has a few houses, or as we call here, a dacha. So now we are going to enter this street called the 70 years October. It used to be the main street of this village. Now it has been replaced with a lot of construction work, and as you can see, the workers are parking their car over there and going to work. We can still see some dacha or some houses on the way. Just follow me. So 2 years ago I used to work in a school nearby, and I used to walk by this street every day. It was a very pleasant walk, especially during spring and summer. Now, you know, this place has become smaller and smaller, but still enjoyable to see this kind of area in a big city like Astana. So you can really see the city expanding. We have containers on one side and still beautiful houses on the other side. Here we can see this old house, which has been built several decades ago. It's a wooden house, which is quite rare in Astana. This part of the city was built in 1988. It was an experimental village, and some of the architecture in this house were considered bold at that time. Over the years, it has been slowly replaced, as you can see, with a lot of complex new buildings. And in a few years, we can guess that everything over there will disappear and will look like a real city center. So now we are leaving the village, entering the city once again. I used actually to give individual lessons on that block, and during my career as a teacher I gave a lot of lessons in different parts of the city. Currently I'm working for Nurorda. It's a school located next to the pyramid. I'm an English teacher there, and now we are going to enter the school and meet my colleague Cyril, who is also French like me, for a cup of coffee. Today is snowy and children love to play outside, making snowmen, playing snowball fights, for example. It's a very enjoyable weather in my opinion. I really like the winter in Astana. I think it's magical. It's white everywhere, and we don't have this kind of winter anymore in my country. Maybe in France, every year we have around 3 or 4 days of snow, but here in Astana it's like almost 4 or 5 months of white snow everywhere.
Hi Cyril, how are you doing? Good, how are you? Excellent, let's grab some coffee. With pleasure.
This is my colleague Cyril, he's from France like me, and he's a French teacher there also.
Hello, can I have Americano?
Yes.
In Kazakhstan, people like to drink very hot tea and coffee. You know, this is a little volcano between my fingers.
After years of private training, Benoît was accepted into the lyceum, which he cherishes, or consumes the most of his time in his life.
So now we're arriving at the class. I'm going to teach today 4th graders in this classroom. It is the first class of the day. Follow me. Well, the kids didn't arrive yet. They are at the canteen having breakfast right now. So we're just going to wait for them and prepare the lesson. Okay? This is the first class of the day. Please let me introduce you the 4th graders, 4E. So everyone say hello to the camera. Hello! Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, teacher.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
I'm good, thank you very much. Please sit down now.
Okay.
Okay, you need to write it on your copybook, okay?
Where's the notebook?
Finished? Yes, very good. Good job. So now it's break time, so we will go upstairs to the cafeteria, which has a wonderful view of the Hazrat Sultan Mosque, the Kazakh monument and the pyramids. So I'm going to prepare my lesson for next week. Follow me. So you can understand why I like to come here and work. This beautiful view that we have from the window. We can see a big part of Astana, a big part of the new area of the city, which is maybe between 10 and 15 years old. We have a lot of monuments nearby, and we have, of course, the pyramid of Astana. I've always been fascinated by Ayteke Tower. It's one of the monuments that caught my eyes when I discovered about the city Astana. Here we have a beautiful picture of Astana in autumn. This is one of the things that I like the most about Astana is the sky. We have so many beautiful sunrise and sunsets that we can observe. A lot of beautiful, stunning colors, and I just like to just go to the park and admire this beautiful sunset with my girlfriend, for example. Oh, now it's lunch break, and sometimes we go outside with my colleague Cyril. Today we'll go to a donor shop We're going to have some typical
Shawarma.
Shawarma fast food, you know. It will do because we don't have a lot of free time, so we have to eat fast. You like to walk outside?
I love it, Benoît, but I'm a bit careful because we don't want to fall down, because streets are starting to be a bit slippery.
Thank you very much.
Bon appétit.
Bon appétit.
Asbosen, Benoît. Enjoy your meal.
Rahmet.
De rien. I was having lunch in the canteen, and then one of my colleagues introduced me to him and said, "You will be very happy to see another French guy." And here we go. Every day we meet each other. We are having coffee together in the morning, sometimes lunch also. And he's basically a very nice guy.
Now my second lesson is going to start. Please come in. We're going to teach some second graders right now. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay. What is it? We have Ayteke Tower. Okay. It's a big monument of our city, Astana. And here we have Khan Shatter. Is it a boy or a girl?
Boy.
What does the boy say? Astana is my city. My story with this country is a very long one. It started when I was around 17 years old. I was a polyglot. I loved learning languages. I still love learning languages, by the way. And one day I stumbled upon this country, Kazakhstan. I saw the flag of Kazakhstan, which in my opinion is the most beautiful flag in the world. I started learning Kazakh by myself. I started making friends online with all the Kazakh people living in Kazakhstan at that time. Kazakhstan was a fantasy. You know, I was thinking that one day I will go to Kazakhstan. I first arrived in Almaty, I remember, and I really fell in love with the city. It was a very beautiful city with a bit like the same mountains that I had in my hometown. So I stayed there for 1 week, and then I moved to Astana. I took a flight to Astana, and I was amazed by the city. I went to EXPO, and on my first day actually I went to a David Guetta concert. David Guetta is a French DJ, you know, and it was very funny because the first time that I saw this French celebrity was in Kazakhstan for free concert during EXPO 2017. So it was a blast. I had a very good time in the EXPO. It was amazing to see all these countries gathering in the city, the different pavilions. I met my future wife there, who was working there at the EXPO. I came back to France, and then I had to make a decision. In February 2018, I did something a bit crazy. I moved to Kazakhstan without having a job offer, without having a proper job. I just arrived there the American way with maybe two free luggages, you know, like just like this, like a refugee, so that I can start a career as a teacher in Kazakhstan. Bilesиз бе, мен казак тілі өте жақсы көремін.
I'm a big fan of the Kazakh language, and I gradually learned it and continue to learn it using books on the internet.
Кітаптармен казак тілін оқимын.
It's great that foreigners are learning the Kazakh language.
Жарайды.
What books are you looking for?
I'm currently looking for fiction books. For example, I've read Blood and Sweat, but wish to reread it. I recommend that you read it in the future.
Okay,
I think you will enjoy it.
later. Thank you very much.
Thank you too. Goodbye.
So this is the end of this day, a school day. We were able to follow me during 2 classes, and we saw a lot of amazing places and amazing colleagues. And now I'm going to prepare the lessons for next week. And tomorrow we will go outside in the city, and I'm going to show you some unusual parts of Astana. Yes, my favorite book about Astana. This one seems to be quite old. Let me check. Yeah, this is an interesting book about Astana. I think it's quite old. Here we have a lot of statistics about the city itself. This is one of the area where I used to work in the old part of Astana. For example, tomorrow we are going to visit some of these buildings. For example, the Academy of Russian Drama Theater.
We are now in a very different part of the capital. As soon as we cross the Ishim River, we are entering the old city district. Of course, Astana is well known for its modern architecture, its futuristic vision. But once Astana was a vibrant and historical city. Now we can see the Gorkin Theater, which is one of the oldest theaters in the city. It is over 100 years old. At that time, people would go there to see theater plays from famous writers such as William Shakespeare or Saikin Sifulin, which is a very well-known Kazakh writer. And now we are going to go on a small historical tour of the old city. We are going to see monuments and statues. Follow me.
Benoît, a great expert of Kazakh capital history and a persistent researcher, is delighted to show everyone interesting places and discuss urban legends. He could easily retrain as a tour guide if he wasn't a teacher.
Now we are on Kenesari Street, which is one of the main streets of the old city district. The weather is still windy and snowy today. It's getting cold, the winter is coming. As you can see behind me, this is an old water tower which was built in the 50s. Now it is a restaurant with a very stylish decoration. Here we can see the statue of Kazybek, Tole and Ayteke, who were the 3 founders of modern Kazakhstan. I think it's a very important and breathtaking statue of the city. It's a very symbolic statue which is located next to the military court. So now we are following Omarova Street and we are going to go to a square which has been recently renovated. This is Omarova Street. This is a place where I worked every day as a teacher. It's very beautiful. It has been recently renovated. As you can see, it's a very quiet and different place from the modern part of Astana. Here it really feels like European cities or even Almaty. In the summer you can see a lot of families hanging around with their children, using the swings, for example, playing in the water, playing with the fountain. It's a very living part of the city, you know, like you can see that history and modernity are coexisting together. Now we are going to see a statue which is very special. What you can see now is a statue called Druzhba Narodov, which was inaugurated by the King of Spain a few years ago. So now we're arriving in Geni Street. On the left you can see a very typical Soviet block of apartments, and on the right you can see a business center where I was working as a teacher for some time. So now we are very here in the historical part of the city where it used to be Tselinograd. We have a lot of statues in Astana.
between 200 and 300 statues. Some of them are depicting children or women or animals, and some of them are historical, like this one. This is a statue of Aliya Moldagulova, was a young woman who was an orphan and was living with her uncle in Almaty. When the World War began, she entered the school to become a sniper, and she was sent to the front. This statue in honor of her memory. And there are actually a lot of women heroes in Kazakhstan that we don't know a lot about. So now, to finish our small historical tour, we are going to go to the old train station, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the early history of Astana. We have arrived at the old train station of Astana, which was built in 1929. What you can see behind me are classical Soviet mosaics. This train station has then had some extension which were built in the 90s. And this is the train station that I used to take at the beginning of my stay when I was traveling south to Almaty, for example. Now we are at the northern part of the city. The train station is a limit, and then it will be the outskirts of the capital, and then the steppe, nowhere. Here you can see a statue of a steam train. Astana has already been part of a critical, important railway network. Astana had many names over the course of history, but it started even before. Between the 7th and the 9th century, there was already a settlement called the Bozok, which was inhabited by nomads. Astana has always been in the center of Eurasia and has always been important to the history of this country. Now we are going to go back to the left side of the city, when I'm going to show you a very specific area of the city, the French Quartal. We have now entered the French Quartal, which is an area which has a look of France, and I'm going to meet my colleague Cyril that you have seen previously.
Good afternoon, Cyril. Hey Benoît, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. It's cold today, isn't it? Yes.
So we are going to have a walk around the French area, and I'm going to show you a little bit about this area. As you can see, we have a lot of buildings with a French style, and we even have this small Eiffel Tower.
The true French, of course, could not pass by this historic metropolitan quarter. It evokes the atmosphere of a European city, as do several others created in a similar architectural style. Something similar was observed in the desire of the New World first architect to bring bits of old Europe to the American continent.
Benoît, where should we go now? To Charles de Gaulle Street?
To you, yeah, to Charles de Gaulle Street. There is a little square with a little statue of the former leader of France, and you will see a lot of buildings which are French style again, you know.
All right, let's go there.
Let's go there. Very windy today. Huh?
Sure.
Oh my God. So this is Charles de Gaulle Square here. Can you tell us something about Charles de Gaulle?
I think he's quite well known to be a military man and also a French president.
Yeah.
He was fighting a lot against the Nazis, and he was on exile, I guess. He was in London, so he had that very famous speech on the BBC, talking to the French people to ask them to be confident and
resist,
and to be ready to face all these problems. He was a great man. I think he's quite tall, so he was very tall.
He was very tall. You can see on the picture it was very tall.
Yeah.
And after the war, he became the first president of the new republic.
Yeah.
So now we are going to see a statue of him, which has been inaugurated in Kazakhstan, in Astana, a few years ago. You can see the statue of Charles de Gaulle here. Okay, let's take a picture. Selfie.
Right.
Souris.
Benoît, sorry mate, but I'm freezing a lot. It's getting really cold now.
Yeah, it's getting cold already, yeah, with this wind, you know. So what I'm offering you is to go to a cafe, a French-style cafe in the left side of the city.
Bonne idée.
As you know, people love to spend time in cafe during winter because it's getting very cold.
Hi Salamat.
Ah, bonjour, ça va Salim.
This is my colleague Cyril.
Bonjour.
Bonjour, enchanté. Bienvenue.
Okay.
Bienvenue.
So this is my friend Salamat. I met him a long time ago. He's working at EXPO and we went to a different event together. We went to see some match, for example, at the stadium.
Benoît, really fun for Astana team, football command. He like football games also, and I surprised it when I meet in Astana Arena for.
This is right, actually. I like sports. You know, I watch a lot of sport in Astana. I go to the stadium to watch football. Actually, with Salamat, we went to see Astana and the Kazakhstan national team.
I usually come here for the atmosphere, which as you can see is very cozy, comfortable place, especially nowadays during winter days. What we have here is quite interesting because I can find croissant, which is a traditional dessert, French dessert, and also good pizzas. Today I got my traditional Parisian pizza, which reminds me of Paris, the capital city of France.
Benoît brought a textbook that helped him learn Kazakh throughout his youth. He carries it around because he believes he is still on the road, still a diligent student.
As you can see, I will show you, it's my first lesson, I try to take some notes, phonetics, I try to understand the language. I think the Kazakh language is a very beautiful language and over the years I try to learn more and more about it. Right now I have still a basic level of Kazakh, but I intend to improve it in the future.
So now we have a snowstorm. It's called here Boran. It's pretty intense. It's a classical weather of Astana. So let's go inside and let's have another hot drink.
Now we arrive in a bar located at the top of this building. It's a very nice place to hang out and have a drink. So now we are going to sit there and relax. I love the nightlife in Kazakhstan. Thank you very much. Spasiba. We can go to a lot of beautiful places with a lot of beautiful views around us. It's very nice after a long week of hard work to just sit and enjoy relaxing drinks with colleagues or friends, for example. So we had a very good time shooting this video. We have seen so many interesting places inside the city and we have met some incredible and nice people, and I hope that you enjoy this documentary. So now I will say in French, au revoir.
Au revoir.
We say goodbye to the hero of our program, Benoît, and his colleague and friend Cyril. We hope that his love for Kazakhstan and the Kazakh language, his interest in the history and culture of an ancient country thousands of kilometers from his hometown will never fade away.